Hi, my name is Dylan and I am the CEO of 118 Group. Today, I want to run you through the two levers of website success, and I'm going to do this in 10 minutes or less. Essentially, these are the two different inputs you can change to your website that can lead to increased positive outcomes for your business or your organization. The too long didn't read. In order to increase positive outcomes, as I just mentioned, from your website, you can either increase the traffic or you can increase the conversions. At the end of the day, we're talking about a formula, an algorithm for success with two variables, put simply, traffic and conversions, and you can manipulate either one of those if you want to increase your positive outcomes. So if we're going to talk about this, you know what traffic is, it's the visits to your site. Conversions is something worth reviewing. So a conversion is any action a user takes on your website that leads to positive business outcomes. So for example, if you are a hair salon, booking a service online, or a mechanic, booking a service online is a conversion because it leads to a positive business outcome for you, more revenue, from that business, from that service. If you're a web designer, a lead form, any user who submits a form, it creates an opportunity for us. That's a positive business outcome. That's a conversion. If you're a membership organization, you're hosting a keynote speaker, any user who buys a ticket, that's a conversion because obviously it's ticket sales, it's revenue, it pushes the needle for your business and your organization. So conversion is any action a user takes on your website that leads to positive business outcomes. And based on what you want your outcomes to be, you might choose different conversions. Put simply, conversion is the entire reason for having and paying for a website. When you're putting a website out into the world, you're doing so because you want to get something out of it. A conversion is proof of that users are performing actions that will lead to those results. So it is everything, a conversion. Conversion rate is a really important metric that you should be paying attention to. It's simply the number of people who took an action on your website divided by the total number of visitors to the site. So, and as an example of that, let's say you had 100 visitors to your website last week or month or whatever timeline you decide to use. Let's say you had 100 visitors to your website and 5 of them bought a ticket for your event. 5 divided by 100 is 5.05, which is, converted to a percentage is 5% conversion rate. It means 5 out of every 100 users took the action you wanted them to take on your website. But let's say we're thinking about months here for the sake of simplicity. And let's say you set a goal for ticket sales next month to 20 instead of 5. You're looking to, dramatically increase your ticket sales. You have, again, thinking about our two levers, we have two options to do this. So here on the left column, you'll see our current status. We have 100 visitors to our website over the course of the month, 5% conversion rate. That equals a 5 ticket sales over the course of the month. Let's say you pull lever 1, which is increase in traffic. So you pay for ads, all sorts of ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and you get that number to 400. You've increased your traffic to 400, but you've done nothing about the conversion rate. You've left the website the way it is. Your ticket sales will hit 20, and so lever 1 did accomplish your goal, the increase in traffic. Lever 2 says, let's not invest any money in additional traffic. Let's focus on adding some better UX, bigger buttons, more urgency, better language, and we'll focus on increasing our conversion instead. So we increase the conversion rate to 20%, which means 1 out of every 5 visitors to the site converts. So boom, now you have a 20 ticket sale number that you got using a different route. You went down the increasing conversion route instead of the increase in traffic route. Both led to the same outcomes. That doesn't mean they're both created equal or there's not an order that should be followed or takeaways here. So first takeaway is that before you start investing in any digital strategy services, you should be performing an audit to determine which levers need to be pulled for maximum efficiency. You should have an audit performed that might tell you what your current conversion rate is. And if your current conversion rate is abysmal, focus on that before you start spending all sorts of money on other services for traffic. if you have a really solid conversion rate, maybe you should focus on ads or some way to drive additional traffic because you seem to be doing pretty well with people who land there. We find that decision makers often feel as though the key to increasing positive outcomes from the website is just to throw more traffic at the site. But if you have a low conversion rate, this is kind of a waste because all that additional traffic you're throwing to the site could be, with a higher conversion rate, could lead to exponentially greater outcomes. So we recommend focusing on ensuring your website is performing well for the traffic it's already capturing before you start investing additional money into lever one, traffic increase. Why not make sure every user has the greatest chance of converting that you're driving to the site before you start driving all sorts of users? A good example of what that might look like if we take our similar example, our earlier example, let's say you take the hybrid approach, but first you increase conversions, so you focus on that conversion rate, and then you think about traffic. So instead, you've increased the conversion rate to 20% because you invest in that service, and then you also drive additional traffic to the site, the 400 that you had driven earlier, or that you thought about driving earlier. Now you have 80 ticket sales instead of 20, and that's exponentially larger than if you just did one or the other. So the key isn't one or the other necessarily. The key is understanding which one you need now, which is the most effective lever to pull now, and what is the order in which you should be pulling them. Again, like I mentioned before, we think you should always focus on higher conversions to the website before you start funneling additional traffic, because as I mentioned here, with a low conversion rate, this could be a waste. So again, really high level, just wanted to get you some insight as to those two different levers you can pull. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email at team@118group.com or visit us at 118group.com or watch any of the other videos we have on our YouTube channel. So thank you very much and have a good one.